Welcome back to Ask a Lawyer. Mark, I received your blog the other day and it was talking about preventing scams, and I thought that might be a good thing to talk about today.
Yeah, we've gotten some phone calls in the last 6 months, particularly with the economy being where it is today, Linda, about people being victims of scams, whether it's an ATM scam, working at home, email scams from across the seas. And so we thought it appropriate to put together a blog about some do's and don'ts so people could watch out for those kind of scams so they don't become a victim.
Let's talk about the ATM scams first. I have a friend who made a withdrawal from an ATM, then she went out of the country, came back and found out that in California there had been 7 withdrawals on her account. Luckily she didn't have a lot of money in it, so that was stopped, but what could she have done to prevent that?
Well, it's becoming, I don't know how it happened, but there are a number of ways that it can happen where thieves can get her information, card, PIN, where they can get information from the ATM so they can access her account. Thieves nowadays are taking card readers and they are mounting them to the ATM. So although the ATM may have a slot to insert your card, it may have a sign on it that says, "Please swipe card here," before inserting. Well, where you're swiping your card is the thieves' way of reading the data on your card to access your account. So the rule of thumb that we tell people is if it has a sign like that doesn't look like it's supposed to be there, it's probably a scam.
So that's a sign.
If the ATM doesn't look right to you, don't use it. A lot of people still go to the ATMs located at their bank because those ATMs are typically monitored a couple of times a day. They have video surveillance, and if somebody's going to come mount something on it to try to steal your ATM information off of your card, a bank employee typically is going to see it.
So that's a little safer way to do things.
Absolutely.
Now what about the stay at home, work at home, and make a gazillion dollars a year doing it scams?
You know, you see those signs on almost every corner, and it's typically a handwritten sign or something that somebody puts a number, "Do you want to work at home? Call this number." Almost all of those are scams where they offer an opportunity to stuff envelopes for a fee, to process checks from overseas for a fee. These are companies that ask you for money. So if you call the number, they're going to want you to send them a check so that they can send you the packet and the training materials. Candidly, if a legitimate company is going to hire you, they're going to pay for you to be trained, they're going to send you to training, and they're not going to require you to give them any money. Under no circumstances should you give any of those folks money, nor should you give them any of your personal information like your Social Security number, date of birth, driver's license number. Those are all ways by which thieves can steal your identity and access credit card information, credit card accounts, and other personal data.
So you said you see the signs, but this is also a lot of times you get emails from these kind of companies.
Sure. If you get an email from a company like that, if you're intrigued enough to call, don't give them any information. Get the name of the company, who they are, so at the very least you can go online and Google them or use another search engine, find out something about who they are. Most times you'll find a website that somebody has set up who's been a victim of that particular company that will tell you their method of how they take money from you and then disappear. The other emails that you get are typically from overseas, from Asian or African businessmen who claim that they have a tremendous amount of money they need to deposit into an American account, and if for a small handling fee they'll transfer it to your account and give you a share of that. Those 100% of the time are scams, and there's so many of them that the law enforcement authorities here in the States cannot keep track of them. So it's going to be up to folks to use their common sense, and when they get those emails, just delete them and not reply to them.
And usually you can read them and they're in very poor English, and they're just, you can just kind of almost tell by looking at them that you don't want to touch that.
You know, most of us can, but there still are trusting people out there that are a little bit naive, that get this email out of the blue and they think it may be an opportunity for them to get some money legitimately. They're not legitimate. They are people that are trying to access your account, to get into your account and take all of your money out of your account. And the reason that the emails are still coming is because they're still successful in stealing from people.
That's right, they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't working.
That's right. That's
so
right.
These blogs and the information that you send out from time to time, warning people of scams and just all kinds of interesting legal information, if somebody wants to become on your blog, they can just email Avera.com and give you their email address, and you'd be happy to include them?
Yeah, they can go to our website at Avera.com, put in their name and email address, and we'll put them on the blog. I mean, we're going to do this as a community service now because, you know, now with the economic crisis, you get emails from, it looks like it's from a bank where they've lost your PIN number and they want your information. If you get an email from a bank about security or a credit card company about security information, it's not a bank or a credit card company. It's somebody trying to access your account and steal your money. You should never give personal information to anybody via email. It's not secure.
Because your bank already has it, so they don't need to ask you for it, correct?
And if they need it, they'll call you on the phone. They won't send you an email.
Mark, thank you.
My pleasure.
And we'll be right back.